Hey there, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the feline family and how they fit into the 10 animals in Xinyi and how I think of them in terms of personal development. So, the cat is definitely much more complex than most of the other animals. There's just a lot of qualities, but some of the qualities that they have are actually complex. So I want to just start with the most important thing, which is that the cat's uh, energetic body extends far beyond its physical space, and that's really different than all the other animals. If you think of a snake, like it's not aware of anything outside of just what its body comes in contact with. It doesn't really have an aura. But a cat, and in the Xinyi system, they talk about four principles that apply to um, all the animals. So chicken leg, because the chicken's agile and move, chicken feet, chicken leg, the dragon body, which has its two opposing, and the eagle's claw, and the tiger mind. And so the tiger mind really just means that the mind that can project. The Chinese have this word yi, which is the intention of the mind. It can also mean spiritual intention, as I understand it. So it's the ability felines can stalk their prey. A mountain lion, which up in this um, state park here I'm staring at, they live up there and they can stalk an animal up to 5 miles away. So part of thinking about the cat is to be where you are going in the movement before you've even got there, to put your mind out there. My teacher, which some people know, George Shu, San Francisco, not only is he a Leo, which is a cat, but I think that's actually kind of his thing. He also calls it space power, but it's uh, it's infecting the energy field of your opponent if you're fighting, or just to put yourself where you need to be. But the thing is, for personal development, I think about um, our desire and our spiritual desire and our desire to fulfill our life and do what we need to do. And part of it is you have to be there before you start. Even, you have a desire, but you imagine yourself in that place. That's kind of a law of attraction. But it's really the same as the cat. And it's I certainly can do this, so I know it can be done. I'm not just telling you a theory of philosophy. I believe it's possible that when you move, you use your eyes and you put yourself where you need to be. Any creative person, artist, anybody, you want to lay pipe in a house, you think about it before and you put your mind inside it. And that's really the activity of the cat. But it's a far different thing to do it um, in physical movement that's coordinated. That brings a certain complexity, and part of the complexity is also that the cat's movements, in many ways, have more qualities to them than the other animals. I'm still actually reading through this text from the 1500s that Master Wu Wen gave me. But I had a conversation with George, my teacher, and he gave me 20 qualities of the cat. But they're really just for fighting, and they're George's qualities. I'm going to tell them to you, but I'm going to really just tell you what my own opinion is. I'm not going to be teaching the 20 qualities. It's not important. What's important are really four qualities. So the mind is one. Um, the second is that the tiger, well, there's two movements, cats and tigers. So the tiger really has two main activities. One is the crouching and the pouncing. Many of the animal movements for the tiger that I teach are teaching these two qualities, the defense of crouching down and attacking out. The other is the left and right, which is the tiger's tail. There's the tiger whipping the tail, and there's the tiger waving the tail. There's actually many more movements than generally I teach. Like for the 10 animals, tiger and dragon have the most movements. I personally know 10 movements, and in the courses that I teach 5. So, but you get the idea with, they all have crouching and pouncing, or left to right movement of the tail, which is learning to move your body from the left to right. The idea of the cat when you're practicing, for one, to practice this, get a good pair of shoes that you don't mind ruining, because there is a lot of movement on the ground at first, and you'll wear your shoes out. Get comfortable shoes for leaping. Tigers take up space, so the chicken, for example, takes up space. It's very territorial, but it only takes up the space that it's standing in front of. But the tiger, because it's leaping and because its mind is strong, it can travel with its energy and with its body much further distances. So, we've crouching and pouncing, we have left and right, we have the tiger's mind, and then we have yin and yang. So the cat movement, which is very unique to all the 10 animals, the cat and the tiger are considered different animals inside the 10 animals, but I put them together because they're felines. But the cat actually is a yin movement. It doesn't have any attack. Every single movement I've ever learned or studied has an attack and a defense all at the same time, but the cat doesn't. It's yin energy, and this means two things to me. So yang, masculine, yin, feminine, yin, empty. You can Google it. So the thing about yin is that you're not directly using your own energy. You use space. In some ways, the cat washes the face is both the easiest movement to do, most relaxed movement, and the most difficult. What's difficult about it is to not use yourself and to practice using the emptiness, to use the space. And so if you watch a domestic cat, which is a great example of it, for one, just how they can fall off a structure or chase a shiny object or stalk a mouse. Their movements are very kind of empty, and then all of a sudden very sudden, and they have this kind of perfect balance. But if you look at them, they're hard to read. They're very hard to read, their energy. Cats, they can seem unpredictable, and when they move, it's very sudden. So you're using the empty space when you practice the cat movements, and you're using your own force when you do the tiger movement. So just some of the things that, so you get a little bit of an idea of some of the things that I got from George, which some of them are in the book, and I had to sort out what was meant by them by finding the Chinese characters. So he called one nail training. The nail of the tiger cat is very important, can be used. And then the opening and closing of the palm, the grabbing, that's also a tiger quality. Choking is one of the things, they grab in and grab the throat, tearing the meat, smashing in 8 directions, pouncing, spring shaking, like you grab and you shake at the same time. That's like when the tiger will grab an animal like a zebra or whatever when they're stalking it, and they shake it while they're grabbing. So you're sort of getting the idea. I'm not going to read all 20 of them. If you're interested, you can request it. But a couple of the ones I thought were interesting was, ja, za, which means cheat. It means cheating or faking, but like you pretend you're doing one thing, but you're doing another. That's a tiger quality, and a drill force, drill like bringing your force like a spiraling drill. And one of George's favorites is metal filing, like that. When you're grabbing, you're creating an abrasion through your touch, that you're like filing them down. Anyway, that's all for fighting. But what we're going to practice are 5 movements. So the cat washes the face is an empty space movement. Then I'm going to teach you the single-handed tiger pouncing. And then there's a double-handed tiger pouncing. Then there's a combination of the tiger whips the tail and the single-handed tiger pouncing. And then the last one, checking for my little microphone here, is the tiger waving the tail. They all have similar qualities, and they're all completely different. And if you learn all of them, you really do learn some of the essential qualities of it. When you practice this, get a good pair of shoes you can ruin, keep your eyes out, and remember that almost all the movements have some aspect of shrinking and expanding. That the beauty of internal martial arts, which is comes out of Taoist philosophy, Taoist teaching, is based on the yin yang. So the yin yang symbol basically is saying that like the oneness of all things is made up of its duality that are intertwined with each other. You have yin and yang, and they come together. There's also a yin inside the yang, a yang inside the yin. But for just the simplicity of the yin and yang, that all of the movements, whenever you're doing one movement, you're always doing an opposite movement. And no animal really shows it better than the cat. Now the dragon is about opposite directions, but it's not necessarily about opposite movements. But the cat is definitely moving opposites, so that you try to think about any principle that you're going to be practicing, which I teach on all the different videos. You take that and you think of the opposite, and you do that too. Okay, enjoy and practice well, and practice relaxed, and don't do anything that will cause injury to you.